So talking about management, so DCNM, in particular, Data Center Network Manager, we support contextual dashboards in DCNM. So you have, what you're seeing here is a dashboard capability. So customers can take the single pane of glass, come in and view the health of their network. They can see the top storage ports. They can see the top hosts, the top talkers. They can see the inventory of their network. So that's available, and they can look at the health, errors, health warnings, and so on in the same sort of dashboard. And you can look at it for a switch, you can look at it for a network, you can look at it from a host point of view. What is this host looking at? You can look at it from a storage point of view. So doing that contextual. We also, another key feature that we've done is we've integrated with VMware vSphere and through APIs, and we provide end-to-end visibility to the SAN admins for this. And let me just talk about the VM path capability. So the VM path capability, when you had your rack mount servers, which are not virtualized, the SAN admins could predict the performance of the network. What we're doing now is connecting to the vSphere and providing the same visibility to the SAN admins that the server admins have. So, in terms of discovering which HBAs are connected to which VMs, so they can see the traffic flows. They can see the end-to-end visibility from the VM to the data store kind of capabilities. We are also, I mentioned the resilient architecture. So, what this is showing is there's DCNM that's running on these servers with an Oracle RAC database that it works with in the background with resiliency. So if the DCNM server goes down, the Oracle database, because it's being synced up, maintains its it maintains its full values, and the customers are able to connect to the data without any disruption. So this is an automated failover for the servers.
So will that also assist in upgrading? Or will upgrading still be something of
yeah, operating is still the same way, but this is just providing for that high availability for the management.
Yeah.
Now this is just a little bit of detail on the Cisco One API. So this is what we're looking at. Traditionally, customers have tools that take advantage of CLI and SNMP to go in and get the data. What we are looking at is integrating Cisco One PK API, which is something that is being supported as part of Cisco's software-defined networking across the different platforms. So customers can write programmable APIs and applications themselves to go in and extract this data from the switches. So some of the use cases for customers would be that they could sort of automate their workflows. So when you have new devices being connected, FLOG is happening, and you need to sort of validate them, zone them, and so on, they could use these APIs to go in and write their own workflows to make sure that things are happening fine. In terms of decommissioning existing resources and removing them, that it's being deleted properly from the entries and so on. So just validating and checking for that. So customers can basically write their own applications to take advantage of this. Accessing internal registers, correlating the various views. So for example, like aliases, you may have different types, different types of aliases for the same thing, zoning alias, device alias, and so on. So just correlating. So they can basically write their own scripts and use this using the developer's kit that is being developed for One PK. So this is work in progress, and this is something that we'll be supporting in the future, but just wanted to share it with you. This is something we're looking at as well and looking to support. Any comments?
I do have a question about the previous slide on
yeah.
the path information in VMware. will there also be a plugin so you can do the provisioning, like zoning or removing zones from out the vSphere plugin? So go beyond just showing the information, but also updating it from vSphere?
Right. So our focus is really on the network side. We're not like looking to sort of change anything over in the vSphere, and we're just sort of showing the visibility. So the answer to that is currently, there may be something that the engineering folks are working on, but not something that, as far as I know, we're driving right now. Okay. Any other comments? Okay. So I talked about the 9710. I talked about the 9250i. I talked about the Nexus platforms, and this is just bringing it all together with the higher performance that customers can use to go end to end on the switch, with moving the larger data sets. So when I talk to customers, their main applications today are databases and Exchange, just like before, but also data mining is taking. So customers are running data mining applications. They're looking at data and they're looking for fast response times, moving large data sets back and forth. And the SAN admins are going, you know what? There are these new applications or whatever, and customers are sort of using up a lot of data in the network all of a sudden. So that's something I'm starting to hear consistently from customers. So this sort of architecture addresses that. With the 9250i, you can replicate and back up your data at 10 gig FCIP. You can do, meet low latency for synchronous applications with I/O acceleration, and then do data migration across different arrays, heterogeneous arrays. So that's it for the presentation. And again, from Cisco, we are heavily investing on fiber channel, and we're focusing on performance, reliability, and flexibility. So in terms of broad portfolio, so just like today, we are talking about MDS, we're also talking about Nexus, and making sure that it's seamless between MDS and Nexus portfolios by using the same operating system and management tools for providing simplicity in the network. So that's it for the presentation piece. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Any ideas? What do you think?
Do you know virtual instruments stuff? Yeah. Are you doing something on that space with the 9710? Because really it's a big problem for this kind of installation. So you have the switch and all the stuff going through the switch, so you have all the information to do something.
Yeah, I mean, it's, with virtual instruments, they're basically providing taps right at the input, so you can basically see the data coming out.
Yeah, but you have the switch. They provide taps because they have the switch.
Right, so we support spanning in this. So when packets come in, that you can span a packet going out to another port. So we do support the spanning capability. So you can basically take it, span it to another port, connect an analyzer on that port, and look at the packets coming in on a port on another port. So
but do you plan to release a software to analyze the packets and analyze the behavior of the SAN or not?
So today we do have an FC analyzer thing where you can send it to the supervisor, and you can look at those packets today. So that capability is there with the 9500 family. Any other comments?
No, not for me.
Okay, very good. Any thoughts? Do you think we're sort of doing the right thing here?
16 gig fiber channel was kind of inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
I find the fabric switch interesting,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always thought FCOE was more FC than E,
Mm-hmm.
and we've now got FCOE firmly in the fiber channel fiber channel conceptual platform.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking whether that might lead to some FCOE that isn't actually converged, where the storage guys are willing to run Ethernet as long as the network guys don't touch it. And so we can do FCOE in our fiber channel switch and have 4 cables running on the server. They'll all be 10 gig, but 2 of them will be dedicated to storage traffic. Does anybody else see that as a political possibility?
Well, there's already the capability of doing that in the FIs. You can actually go right to that division FC.
Yeah, but you end up having, eventually you have to
And
go
then you
to
can bypass storage altogether.
eventually you have to go to a Nexus and the network guys are going to go, no, that's my switch. So, well, my whole premise is that the storage guy's objection to FCOE isn't the fact that it runs over Ethernet, but that they have to share equipment with the network guys who they loathe and believe are tree-hugging Birkenstock-wearing idiots.
I've always thought it's because they don't want to put a lossless protocol on a lossy protocol. Even if you had an isolated Ethernet LAN, we'll say.
Yeah, but 10 gig converged Ethernet is lossless.
Yeah.
I mean, it's designed to tolerate loss, but it doesn't. You shouldn't see it, right? I mean, even in my crappy
Ethernet is
infrastructure.
lossy. It's not designed to make sure that everything gets there. Jump packets all the time.
No, but that's the whole idea behind converged Ethernet and per priority clause and that the whole DCP.
Yeah, now you're talking about like virtual queuing, things like that. That solves that problem.
Right, but that,
Prior to that, I think that was the issue. I'm not going to put my SUE on a 3750.
No.
Makes sense.
well, yeah, and I'm not going to run iSCSI because of similar reasons, yeah. But you don't see any politics problems with that the network guys and the storage guys both get to log into that 5500?
I think to say there wouldn't be politics would be I mean, even when you talk fabric interconnect, fabric interconnect, you have politics. Who owns it? Server guy versus another guy? Who knows?
So Howard,
Cloud storage team, or cloud team, right?
you bring up a good
Converged
point about
infrastructure.
organizational, and the thing is, from an FCOE perspective, UCS, which has basically FCOE built into it, and there's a lot of installations of FCOE. So anybody who's connecting fiber channel storage and they're running UCS is using FCOE, right? And
But
so
just
from a
don't know.
technical,
but people
they don't know it,
but
and from a
people who've decided to use UCS
right,
are already, less hidebound
Right.
than the rest of the world because they switched server vendors.
But if you have SC SAN, it's going to be over your dead body that you want to give it up for SCA.
So I mean, it's a good point. Now the thing is, with UCS, it's there. Now with Nexus 5K, doing FCOE at the first hop, I personally am seeing a lot of. So the point you're talking about definitely is a concern in many customers, right? We have, MDS has 20,000 customers, right? There are a lot of customers, but there are a lot of customers now who are deploying FCOE. I am running into a lot of large customers that are deploying FCOE at the first hop. Okay, and they've sort of these teams have figured it out, have worked together, have figured it out somehow that basically this is what they want to do. They've got a modus operandi. Not everybody, obviously.
No, I'm not questioning that. I'm observing that now you can do FCOE in the storage guy's switch without involving the Ethernet guy's switch. And that for less politically peaceful organizations might be another foot in the door. Now, the truth is, it really becomes a foot in the door when we're talking about 40 gig FCOE and 32 gig fiber channel is still 2 years away.
Yeah. So let me just address that, Howard. The thing is, when you say FCOE, you're really talking about converged Ethernet, which is running LAN and FCOE.
I'm specifically not referring to converged Ethernet. I'm not referring to LAN and storage traffic.
Because on MDS we don't do
on the
LAN
same
switching.
cable.
We don't do LAN switching on MDS.
Right, but if I have 4 10 gig ports on a server, and 2 of them are storage FCOE ports,
Perfect.
I can connect them to a storage guy's switch.
We have customers looking at
That
that.
doesn't say Nexus on it.
No.
And therefore the network guys don't get to have the logins to it.
Good point.
So you treat it as a matrix.
Yeah, then I just go, this is a,
It's an Ethernet matrix.
well, this is the storage network and it's completely separate from the LAN network like it's always been.
Yeah.
But parts of it are running over Ethernet, not
Yeah.
fiber channel qua fiber channel.
I don't think the network guys are gonna care. That it has an E in the word of the protocol.
No, it's whether the storage guys will care, whether the storage guys.
Who owns the switch?
Why would you have
Yeah.
a separate fabric and run MCOE on it? I don't really see the value there. Other than
Because,
the high ports.
because sometime 18 months to 2 years from now, that'll be a 40 gig Ethernet, and 32 gig fiber channel will still be 2 years away. Because Ethernet performance is going to trump fiber channel performance in the foreseeable future.
So you're saying just ban, just pretty much rebuild the entire SAN just to get the ban.
So
That's crazy.
So first of all, people are not rebuilding their SANs. If you have a SAN that is running, right? People maybe, if you have an existing SAN with existing servers and so on,
Part of it
typically
running is
customers are.
I'm having trouble to get on board with this. No one's gonna rip out like, oh, I'm going from fiber channel to FCOE.
No, but every,
You know,
but every
but-
year
but-
I'm
but
replacing
the-
20% of my SAN, and why?
Yeah.
And so will that replacement be fiber channel
Like
on?
9710s with FCOE cards and then slowly
Yeah.
get rid of the 9100s.
Yeah,
You,
can see that.
you know, the thing is, customers typically will refresh their SANs every 4 to 5 years, right? When that refresh time comes is when there's, they may make a decision.
and
Fiber
if when-
channel,
And if when that refresh time
FCOE,
agree with
mix
that.
and match.
I completely agree with that. I was thinking more of, you're not going to just greenfield on FCOE.
No,
You're
I'm-
gonna trash.
No, I'm just thinking,
Because
if
18
it's,
to 24 months sounds so short
right,
of a time period to even care.
if it,
Unless
when it,
that's your refresh cycle.
when it comes time to replace this switch or this director, even if I'm not ready to do converged networking for political reasons, am I ready to run FCOE?
Well, you can get FC cards and then later get FCOE cards.
Yeah.
Well, from some people, you can get cards and just change their personality
Yeah.
later.
And I also want to say is, I talked about the first hop FCOE. We do have customers who are, we started shipping multi-hop FCOE in 2011, and SAN customers, being conservative, have sort of taken time to test it out in their labs and sort of convince themselves that it's working. And now we're starting to see production level deployments of multi-hop FCOE. And we're looking to bring out in fact, I think a couple of case studies may already be published on Cisco.com for the customers who are running multi-hop FCOE in their production environment. So, this is something that we're sort of looking to publicize because this is something customers are asking, is anybody running multi-hop FCOE? And that is a focus area for us, is publicizing those stories and letting them know that, yep, there are people doing this.
I still think the major hurdle is the conception is, like I said, when I talk to people, it's, I'm not going to put my FCOE on 3750 Stackwise box or my 65190 or something like that.
But this is the data center we're talking
But now
about.
this is a storage switch with
Exactly.
Ethernet
Yeah.
ports on
Now
it.
it's a little more power.
Right, but in the data center, it's really the Nexus that's being deployed rather than the CAT products, right? So, because,
I haven't run anybody like using FCOE on 5Ks, to be honest with you.
Really?
They're doing FCOE.
maybe we need to connect you to some customers who are using,
I'm doing it. It's, I mean, I
Oh, you're
deal
doing
with
it?
a lot of enterprise customers, and I
Okay.
haven't seen it yet.
okay,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure they're out there.
yeah,
It's got to be somebody.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
ran into that person.
So Jay, I think that would be a good action item to take, see if we can connect up.
Sell more FCOE? Okay.
Sorry? There's plenty of case studies already on Cisco.com
Yeah.
on customers who are using.
Well, yeah,
First hop
that's
FCOE.
great. I don't know the politics or the reasons behind it.
Yeah,
That is its own thing.
yeah,
I'm saying in the wild,
Real
dealing with
life.
Fortune 1000 companies.
yeah.
It's FCOE, not FCOE, yeah.
Oh, no,
So-
I'm hearing a different
I'm
story
trying to
now.
help you
Yeah,
with
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
being
No,
engaged.
I'm hearing that, and I was hearing that before. But now, when let's say, we have customer tabs, right? I'm going into a customer tab. I'm talking to a customer, and I didn't even know this customer was doing it. And they're telling me, oh yeah, I'm doing this. It's running just fine. I'm like, really? And these are large customers. And these are customers like, for example, this customer, is a defense contractor, right? And he's telling me that they're running all of their sort of, countrywide manufacturing floors on the SAN. So the way it works is that they have these, the bombs, and these bombs are being built. So if something runs out of parts, then it basically gets built. The bombs are being stored on the SAN, and if they run out of parts, then these parts are built and then shipped. A mailing label gets put on it, and it gets shipped to wherever manufacturing is being done. Now, if let's say the SAN was to go down, manufacturing would stop, and they count the losses that they have in millions of dollars by the hours, right? Because that means basically they have to basically send everybody home because the SAN is down and they can't access. So these are mission critical stuff that is being run in these environments, and I'm coming across that now. So.
I don't disbelieve you,
Yeah.
but you're also the Kool-Aid vendor.
Correct, and it is.
You gotta be careful how much I drink.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. So, cool.